The new proposed sex education curriculum in Ontario. Are they talking about that again on Sun News? Yeah, because other people won't. And this is how, I'm sorry, this is how evil triumphs when good people say little, if anything. There have been some lies told by certain people who've appeared on this station, by the way. I don't mean our on-air staff. They're telling the truth. I mean other people trying to defend this curriculum, or just, I suppose, inject a miasma of ambivalence about the whole thing. What is really being suggested? We'll tell you the truth here. And we've got something today that I think will shock you. My guest, Coren Malcolm, Institute for Canadian Values, been on the show before. He's terrific. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
I need to read this to you because we're going to... don't put the photos up yet. I want to read this first. New teachers in Ontario will soon graduate from college with an improved understanding of gender and sexuality to bring into the classroom. So that's what we want, isn't it? Forget about illiteracy, says queer activist Davina Hayder. Hayder is part of a group led by Toronto Centre Liberal MPP Glenn Murray that will soon be developing training for new teachers. It's incredible, says Hayder. It will be required for every teacher. This is pretty groundbreaking. Again, every teacher required. Schools must be accepting and welcoming for students and staff, Hayder says, quote, and teachers' curriculum is part of that change. Now listen to this. Quotation from this queer activist Davina Hayder. The problem the Liberals have been up against with regard to GSA's, Gay Straight Alliances, is a separate school board, Hayder says. Boards have been saying ministry policies are not enforceable because Catholic schools have special rights. Well, they can't use that card anymore. This is a push for equality education. We are teaching the people at the top, and they're going to have to listen. It'll be mandated as part of the curriculum. They won't have a choice. Can we see some photos, please, of this person now? Let's have a look at the photographs. OK, this is Davina Hayder, who says, you will not have a choice. Now, I'm not in any way trying to be rude. I assume this is a man dressed as a woman. I don't know. But do you feel comforted and comfortable that this person will be one of the main individuals changing the way your children learn about sexuality, saying it will be mandated as part of the curriculum? They won't have a choice. Merry Christmas.
and of course, a Merry Christmas to you. Michael, I mean, when you look at something like this, I really believe what is happening here. And, you know, in the words of Premier McGuinty, and if I may quote, actually.
Please, yes.
If I may quote, because he went to a school up in Aurora, and he was asked a question. And
Aurora is just outside of Toronto.
Yeah, in New York region. Yeah. And here's what he said, and I believe this is what's happening here. He says, I think, dealing with the area of this whole thing on bullying and so on, he says, I think we're talking about something here by the way of a value that, listen now, transcends every faith and every tradition and every culture. To me, somebody's trying to play God. And when you look at those words, we hear this now coming back with this, and this person saying, now, every teacher will have to learn this. Every student, you know, will be taught this. This must be accepted at this level. And I'll tell you, this is something here that I believe that every Canadian, every Ontarians need to really take a look at what's really being said and what's happening. Because they're using the ploy or the guise of bullying to bring in a legislation now. They're using the power of legislation behind this, to bring this in to try to get you to accept this. And this, to me, is wrong.
This is very well said. We've said this 100 times. Bullying is wrong. Anyone who wants to bully, you're going to be in trouble, young person. You cannot bully. If you bully someone because they are white, black, clever, stupid, fat, thin, gay, straight, bullying, wrong. That is an absolute, a self-evident truth.
Absolute.
But in the guise of fighting bullying, the photographs we just saw there, this is not a gay guy who says, come on, just treat me with respect. That's, of course we must. These are people with radical sexual agendas trying to impose them on children who still believe that Santa is about to bring presents in a couple of days' time. They are not formed as people, and they're trying to be reformed in a perverse sexual form.
You know, there's that word, reformed, because here's what is really happening here. I mean, who is this really benefiting? This is benefiting one group of people. And let me tell you, here's what they're doing. They're coming to your door, they're coming to my door and knocking on our doors and says, we want your children.
That's pretty aggressive language.
But let me put it for you, because there's a proverb that says, train up a child in the way they should go, and when they're old, they won't depart from it. And what they want to do at the school level is to be able to take their children, our children, your children, take our children, to train them up, to put their values in them, their desires in them, so that at the end of the day, they accept their values and walk in that.
Okay, that part I can accept. But when you say they, and let's be distinctive, because I'm in media. I work with a lot of gay people who simply don't have a view on this. They just say, just leave me alone.
Exactly.
They're not political. They're kind, decent, tolerant people. This seems to be a subgroup within the gay community. And beyond that, people like McGuinty, who's a fool, who are being influenced, who they're not gay, they just think to change is always positive. We have to change it. Even though it's not broken, we have to change it.
And I agree with you. We're talking about the radicalists here. We're talking about those who you want to get out there and make things to be so that they can be accepted.
Well, can we see those pictures again, please? We need to see these pictures again of Davina Hayder, who I'm sure is a wonderful person, but presents himself, I think it's a man, in a way. I mean, again, I'm not trying to be rude. It's just difficult to... And I'm 52, and I've been around. So how would a 6 or a 7 or an 8-year-old adapt? And what would that little boy or little girl feel? And should that little boy or little girl have to assimilate this and deal with this when they're still learning to read and write?
That is so hard. That is so hard. That is a mind-boggling thing to think about with these little children that wrap their minds on this issue. I mean, they have enough issues already as it is, just trying to learn and live life and learn their arithmetic and their science and so on. But, putting this now in front of them where they now have to choose to see whether or not, well, who am I? I thought I was, my mommy says I'm a girl. I'm a girl. I know what a girl looks like. It's their mindset is already understanding of their gender. Now you're trying to say, you better think again.
Well, again, this activist, Davina Hayder, and these are not my words, with this we are teaching the people at the top, and they're going to have to listen.
Ooh.
It will be mandated as part of their curriculum. They won't have a choice. The words there, have to, mandated, no choice. This is not me. This is this person saying that, working for Glenn Murray, who, again, has called people who don't agree with the curriculum bigoted and far right-wing. I don't know if it's still the case, but the media person for Glenn Murray used to be Ralph Ben-Mergui, the former CBC personality. I don't know if that's still the case, but isn't it interesting how the plot thickens?
It does, certainly does. And I look at this, and we talk about bullying because bullying has been there since the dawn of civilization. Okay, it's not going to go away.
No, but we can try in every way to stop it.
We can try, and I have nothing wrong with doing that. Well, let's do that. Let's deal with the area of bullying.
But of course, look, what would you, as a black man in North America, know about being in any way discriminated against? Or, I mean, you should just shut up.
I was in the schoolyard, right?
We've got to go.
Walking down the street,
Merry Christmas, my friend.
Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you.